There we go. We're live. Right. I don't know how this is gonna. Let's have a quick little look on YouTube. See what's coming up there. We're going vertical. We should be vertical now. We are vertical.
I'm still waiting for Instagram to show me the green light so I can click go live.
I think I need to click. I know why.
Instagram does require like the click to go live.
Yes. So does oh no, we should be it should be streaming to okay, we are vertical on YouTube.
That's cool, but my Instagram is not showing up.
I'm also going to edit that title because it's not particularly helpful. What are we, 17 now? Jesus Christ, 17, eh? 17. ScaleAI, quality concerns. That'll do. That'll go in there. ChatGPT. Oh no.
So create. I'm going to try live again on Instagram because it didn't work. They also change the streaming keys very often.
Yeah, we are vertical on YouTube. All right, it's all right. 4 people join us live. Hello, 4 people. We're doing more experiments. And we truly thank you for putting up for our patience. Oh God, we've got lots of really lengthy headlines today.
Yay, we're live on Instagram as well.
Sweet. How did you do that, like, whilst we're live?
It allowed me. The first time didn't work, so.
Cool.
Hello, everybody. So I will see the comments from Instagram directly through my browser. We can see them in the comments here because Instagram Meta sucks. They don't have like APIs for this type of things. Do you guys hear us fine? Cool.
Are they responding? Are they saying?
There is a huge delay, so I'm still waiting. The Instagram.
Salute to old man. Are you old man? Who's the old man?
I am the old. Who said this? Where?
Kevin Abreu.
I am the old man.
Where's this from?
Kevin, I don't know.
All right, cool. There you go. This is Twitter. This is YouTube.
Twitter.
No, YouTube. Yeah, we're kind of, if you are with us, we are running these experiments. We have launched a Instagram. So if you are on Instagram, you should be seeing some shorts go up there. If that's your way to enjoy and consume our gorgeous faces. That's Cmd+AI show.
Yes.
Do we have a Twitter yet? No, we don't have a Twitter, do we?
So I'm gonna post it on my Instagram. That's Cmd+AI show. We need to at Cmd+AI show.
Yeah.
Please give us a follow, and yeah, I will post more about it. We will post more about it. We will post, like, share our content. But this is just the start. If you are here, you're like here from the very beginning. So thank you for being here from the start. You are the true OGs.
We'll be monitoring the questions and things like that. So do join us if you have anything to add, anything to ask, anything to clarify. We'll do our best to monitor all the chats. So feel free to write in. Should we go for it? I think we're good to go.
For it. Yeah.
I honestly don't know what you've been doing with this intro, so why don't you just take it away?
So the blue one is what you will say. All right.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
easy.
this week, Mark Zuckerberg got scammed. We found out that AI companies don't use their own AI. We have some new open source updates, and Arc, my favorite browser, got acquired by Atlassian. This is Command AI. I am Kavarza.
And I am Sam, and this is a week in AI design and dev.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, happy
You're
with that?
smooth. You're smooth. Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah,
can
go
go
on.
for it. We can go for like the chat that we have. We have 10 people like from my Instagram. We have like 15 from other places. I don't see the count for Twitter. I should also.
Well, yeah. I'm seeing if I can join you on Instagram. If I can just add myself to that chat. We're going to try something different this week. We're going to just chat about what we've been up to. I know you've got some thoughts and ideas. Basically, Kavaz is going to use this as a free consulting session.
True. Yeah. So I have a developer here. Sam is my developer friend. If you don't know, guys, we always had these conversations, and we thought like we'll make this show with, and we've been doing this for some time now. And I always, I like to borrow his brain and ask some questions about my ideas. So what do you think about this idea for a website? A website made with many small videos in each section, not every single section, but most of the sections with a video explaining something. So imagine, people browsing your website, your portfolio, agency, whatever. Instead of reading it, they can see your gorgeous face with a title, maybe like a nice thumbnail that says, our pricing explained in 2 minutes. So instead of them reading the pricing everything, they could watch a video, you explaining and showing it. So that's the kind of like the base level. We could scale this or like bring this to a crazier level. Imagine your website being essentially just one giant video made of many small like pieces. So people can navigate your website by talking to you in a way, but by just choosing something. It was also a Netflix show, the Black Mirror, one of the episodes. You could choose the destination. So imagine like navigating like this. I don't know if a website like this exists, an idea like this, but I got this idea from many people not reading our content and still asking the question. And I was like, why not add a thumbnail with a 2-minute or 1-minute video explaining what that section is? Like our work, our process, our services.
This happens on YouTube as well, though. Like, I literally got a question, a comment this morning asking, it was on my my MacBook Air video, Does It Vibe? And someone's literally saying, I'm a developer, should I use a MacBook Air? And it's like, did you not watch the video? Like, this is literally what I'm answering in the video. So that's just a comment on that. If I understand this correctly, you want to replace reading with watching.
So replacing it would be the big step or like the crazy idea. But the other one is not replacing, it's just having little not very little, but like, thumbnails of your face with an explanation, like a one small liner that says pricing explained in 1 minute. So they don't have to figure out, oh, you have like monthly projects and you have like subscription, you have like per project, you have enterprise, you have custom, whatever, right? Just explain it. It's much faster to say things in 2 minutes than giving people 2 minutes to read it.
Okay,
that's the idea.
I think I just saw a thing that you're able to invite me. Can you invite me
Yeah.
to Instagram? I'll get back to. I'm looking on Instagram. Sorry about the sirens. Maybe we should.
Yeah, are you fine?
Maybe I can even put on a bit of a more
Oh no, I
extreme.
can invite you, but not actually from
Can you
from
invite
the
me
web.
on Instagram?
No, I can't. Not from the web. Because
Filters.
we're going live from the web, and that's not possible.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Maybe the noise gate is not working that I have on OBS. Right. If you're in the comments, let us know what you think about this idea of, a video supported, let's say, website. So all the information you would get on a website, I'm just trying to understand the proposition. All of the information you get on a website is supported by a thumbnail with a video that explains the current page that you're on, whether it's about, whether it's how do you differentiate between, because you often have about and like price, you won't ever have everything on like
imagine
pages.
process. Like we have a clear defined process. We go from like we help you create a sitemap and then a wireframe and then the design and the rest, it's writing that is going to take like a lot of words. Showing that in images takes a lot of like vertical space. Having it in one video, I can communicate so much more. I can create like a tiny show reels inside, like in the video, to like, with my face talking in the show reel saying, oh, this is like the results that we get. And all I'm thinking about is communicating more, building trust with, people trust faces. And that's like the reason for it. If this is going to work, I don't know. I would love to see examples.
2 questions. Who is this target market?
My clients.
Your clients, right? So it's going to be for an agency website, right?
Yes, agency website. So these are like business owners, enterprise, hopefully clients, and who are like decision makers at these companies. These are like maybe designers for like some of them, marketers for bigger companies, like the head of the marketing or someone working at the marketing team. But a lot of my clients, like they start by having like a designer who finds us and then gets in contact with us.
And okay, so do you feel like video is the best way to communicate to these people? Like, do you think that's their primary form of communication?
That's the question. I know video. So in an absolute sense, I know video is like a medium in which you can communicate a lot faster because you have the visual and the voice. But I don't know if it's going to work for businesses. I know it will work for like selling a course, but for businesses, I'm not sure.
I mean, process is an interesting example to use because it's quite common for like video production companies to have like a show reel or something like that. It's quite common for agencies to have their process and their kind of just like a video that explains about the company and whatever. So, but I think what you're describing is something a little bit more like, again, targeted at specific, like you say, pricing as an example. I couldn't ever imagine, navigating a website having to watch through video because, everyone interprets information differently. And that's what's beautiful about AI is because you get the exact thing that you want. It doesn't add a lot of gumph either side, right? And you can say a bunch of words before, you can say a bunch of words after, but all I care about is that bit of text, your per hourly rate or something like that. And it's often quite a laborious task to kind of sit through a video just to wait, click through. When are you going to say the price? When are you going to say the price? You know what I mean? You're not going to come out there and say whatever. Maybe all I care about is what you do. What's your what do you call it?
It's not a replacement, by the way. Like they can still.
I know this. Yeah, I know this. So like it's maybe I just care about the your SLA, your support after the process. Like, yes, you do design, development, blah, 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 you go through all this, but what happens after the project? And then I've got to kind of sit through a video or skip through it or whatever to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having video. Why not? Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have videos. I think I'm going to close my window. But I would question logically, is the juice worth the squeeze in this? Is it really going to have a big tangible impact? I would question that.
Yeah, I don't know either, so I would, but yeah, this is just an addition.
Also, bandwidth is another thing. You know, you're going to pay a lot more for your website to host your website if you're constantly.
I don't think it's like, I don't get a lot of.
Especially if it's on Webflow.
A few, yeah.
You know, so try it. I think I need to talk to and this is probably where, you know, where my latest frame of mind is coming from at the moment, building apps and things like that, is talk to your actual clients. Stop. We live in a world where we make all these assumptions without even talking. Like YouTube is terrible for it. We make statistical, like 10x your income without any verification on like, where did you get 10x from? Like what maths have you done to get 10x, right? Where we live in a world where we're throwing around a lot of facts and figures and statistics. It's that, with zero. And someone said to me once, a very cool something of one, audience of one, or basically you've taken your own research of one, or something like this, you know?
Well, there are two camps around this, by the way. There are like two primary like thinking around this. One is, so the question is, should you ask your users for what they want, and based on what they reply, build that for them, deliver it to them? There are two ideas. One saying, yes, you should do research, you should do market research, analyze and listen to your users and deliver what they are asking. There is the other camp where it's like Steve Jobs. Our users don't know what they want. We know what is great, what is best for them, and we just go ahead and create it for them. And I believe both can be true. Like, if you have a great sense, and there is this meme, what is the name of this guy? He's like, do you have any technical abilities? Like, no. So why are you getting paid for my
Rick Rubin?
Yeah. For my best, like, what does he say? Like, my
lack of technical musical
ability.
No,
he says, like, because of my taste, for my amazing taste and ability to communicate what I want. Something like this. So I do believe in that camp as well, because look, Apple made iPhone 13 mini and they stopped making it after like 2 years. Why? Because it didn't sell. Why did they make it at the first place? Because users were asking for it. People were saying, like, we want it. But then people went to the shop, they tried it, and they just didn't buy it.
So. I mean, here's the thing. No one said anything about listening to your users to build what they want, right? It's a source of data for you to consider, to then use your creative and entrepreneurial ability to produce something that is not too far removed from the pain points of your potential customer.
Makes sense. So the takeaway is, ask your users, but don't necessarily listen to them.
Yeah, if you want to boil it down to a simple sentence like that. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker. That AI says that a lot, and I notice it in videos now. I'm like, here's the kicker. Okay, you've asked Claude to write that for you. Here's the kicker. This is a great way to talk to your potential clients and strike up a conversation with them. Say, hey, you know, we've been dealing with a lot of you guys. We're looking to pivot into your industry, blah, blah, blah. We'd love to sit down and chat to you about, you know, your experience working with companies like us. And you don't want to ask leading questions. You don't want to try and verify that your video idea is the way that they want. You want to ask them enough questions about how they consume content and this and that, and then come to that conclusion. Because the worst thing is you lead them down where you verifying your own assumptions, and that's the wrong way to do it.
In another word,
So,
that's really important. Yeah, to not seed them, give them the idea, right? So that, because if they are nice to you, whatever idea you bring, they just say, yeah, go for it. But you shouldn't do this. So what I need, you're telling me that I need a UX designer to create a survey and survey my clients without giving them any idea, like, directly.
Just get AI to do it. Yeah.
You're going to make
You're
lot
giving
of
people
UX
too many
designers.
jobs. You're giving too many designers jobs. They need less of them. There's too many of them.
No, this is a great segue to our next discussion.
Which is what?
Well, which is AI replacing you or replacing your job? And are you going to lose your job, or is it? Are you going to give like a lot of projects to AI to do instead of like human? I think you are more in the camp of you give the AI something to do and get something back in return. I tend to give AI to my people, like give them all the AI tools and say, go do this thing, use AI for it. So do it faster, do more.
Should we pick this up after the first article?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Yeah.
There you go. You set us up and we'll answer it after our first article.
Yeah.
Did Zuckerberg's dream team become a nightmare? Did he get scammed by ScaleAI and dirty data? Have you seen this?
Well, not really.
Not really.
But it sounds really exciting because it's Mark Zuckerberg getting scammed, so it is exciting.
So you remember the dream team? How long has that been being put together? How long has Zuckerberg been dishing out hundreds of millions of dollars to pick up the likes of the key people from OpenAI, from Anthropic, from just the AI industry in general? How long? 2 months?
Yeah, he's been offering a lot of money, even like literally in billions in total.
And it's already falling apart. Would you believe it basically stems from one thing, and it all began with the purchase of Andrew Wang. Is it Andrew Wang? Who built a startup called ScaleAI, and they own a lot of data that a lot of other companies use to train their models on and various things like that. They purchased ScaleAI, or at least they purchased 49% stake in ScaleAI, owning a minority stake in the whole entire company. But really, I think they were just after Andrew Wang to enroll him into Zuck's new efforts of the MSL, what do they call it now? The Meta Superintelligence Labs. What people are finding that are working with this in this MSL group is that the ScaleAI data that Zuck purchased is actually pretty terrible. And they're actually turning to some of the ScaleAI's competitors to get better data to train and work with Llama, using companies like Surge and Mercor. I think you call that Mercor. So they're actually turning to their competitors. So ScaleAI is basically just, I don't know, maybe it's just not good enough. And after digging into this article, and it's not necessarily the reason, but what they found was the data was produced by sort of cheap labor, basically.
Yeah.
Cheap labor to build these data sets, and the sort of quality they need at this point is from the likes of, like, very, very well respected minds, I guess, like what do they say here, like doctors and lawyers and scientists. That's the sort of data we're looking at, but it was put together through this low income messy thing. So
yeah,
people are getting frustrated, and people are actually leaving because of this. Now the senior, well, not necessarily, again, it's not because, I think this is just piecing everything together here, and one thing leads to another, because we're only 2 months in, and the senior vice president has left because of it as well. And these are big names, and other members are leaving. MSL, all at this kind of time of all this kind of not great stuff coming out, to be honest. So yeah, it's kind of all falling to bits a little bit.
So how does this work? To my, like, the way I understand, there are these companies that are specialized in cultivating and collecting data. Actually, what do they do? Do they go to, like, do they buy books, scan them, and put them like in Dropbox and something like that? How does that?
Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you, but we can hazard a guess, and my guess would be to that effect. Yes, they're scanning. Doesn't look so great, does it? That they're scanning books, they're doing research, they're collecting data from various resources, delivers proven data, evaluations, and outcomes. Let's see if they have anything to do with them. Resources, about. Oh God.
All right, so how do they, like, ask low cost labor? They probably will go to, like, India. This is, the low cost market, like people who also speak English. They probably ask them to gather information, essentially, right? Categorize things. I believe there is also some tagging going on, so they tag information like images, etc. It's not just like uploading things. They have to understand, like, they use the human to understand what the context, like what is the context of this paper or whatever, and add some notation. That's I believe what is happening.
Yeah, they're collecting data, and I've done a little search over here. Collect using a combination of automated tools and distributed network of human annotators in a process known as human-in-the-loop data management. The company partners with clients to gather raw data in various types, such as images, text, video, audio. And I'm guessing they're tagging this data. They're trying to create some sort of structure out of it. Sounds like a lot of manual labor to do so. And I guess in time they can use more automated solutions as the data grows and whatever, obviously internal systems. So I'm guessing that's how they've gotten this data. It's not really my industry. It's not my industry, but it's not my wheelhouse to really comment much further than that. But yeah, human in the loop.
So how is that related to what we were talking about, like hiring people to do like AI work?
So obviously Meta are trying to create super intelligence. They're trying to deliver Llama 4, which has been a bit below expectations, and try and develop super intelligence. They obviously need data to do that, and they're going to obviously turn to Andrew, who's now the I guess the leader of the MSL group. They're going to turn to his company to use their data to, build super intelligence, to work with super intelligence. But people inside the team are finding that the data is just not very good. And whilst this is just one of the pieces of this puzzle, really, when it comes to this whole falling apart of the MSL group and Meta's efforts to reach super intelligence. People are getting frustrated. People are probably not seeing the light, even though Zuck's been offering up to 300 million in bonus packages. People are walking away. People are going back to OpenAI.
Yeah.
Is it to do with the fact that they've lost faith in the person who's leading their team? His own company is just a shell of a company. It's not very good. It's not as good as they which I'm, as an aside, I'm seeing a lot of people lying outwardly about what they're capable of. Maybe Andrew Wang sold the dream and Zuckerberg took a sip of the ScaleAI Kool-Aid. I don't know. These are American idioms.
Yeah, this is literally another episode of Silicon Valley.
Oh, shut up. Let's move on. But yeah.
We'll get into that. Even Theo talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's just it's not looking great for MSL at the moment. It's kind of falling apart, stemming from dirty data. Not
Kamran is commenting saying that they use labeled data and then supervised learning, which is used for training the model. They also use unsupervised learning technique and semi-supervised learning. Okay, so there are like a bunch of different techniques.
Well, either way. Whap, whap.
Yeah. Nobody feels bad for Mark. So.
Yeah. There is a bit of smugness there of just like, he's tried to throw money at something, and it's just not panning out for him. Which is kind of what you get. I think it's just nice watching greedy billionaires just fail.
That's true.
And to be honest, we could probably go into the next article here where essentially Meta are now looking to ChatGPT, to OpenAI, to Google to actually partner with them in order to support their own Meta superintelligence labs. And so, and even Anthropic as well. And actually, we'll get to the Anthropic thing in just a second. But like it begs the question about OpenAI, Llama being open source, and if they're behind the scenes using Google and using, ChatGPT and stuff like that, is it truly open source if that's behind the scenes? But I think ultimately it's basically encouraging their teams to use third parties as much as possible to work. And we haven't spoken about this, but I'm close with some of the guys at Meta, and was chatting to them a couple of weeks ago, and they're fully in on Claude Code. They use Claude Code on a daily basis to do their work at Meta. Now they're not part of MSL. I'm not that close.
And are they allowed? Is this
they're totally allowed? This is paid for. This is a subscription that's given to them. They're not paying for them themselves. So it just goes to show that Llama and Meta's own AI systems just aren't there yet. I know we kind of knew this, but it's just coming to light how not up to scratch it is. So Zuckerberg's bet is truly falling away. And the Meta also signed a 6-year cloud computing deal with Google worth over 10 billion. And that's using their servers and stuff like that. And this is not, I don't want to try and make something that's not already being done. iPhones use Samsung screens, arguably better screens than Samsung's only their phones use, their own phones use. So, this isn't crazy to know that you use other people.
That's an interesting point and comparison, that because like Samsung is making the screens for iPhones, Sony is making the camera sensors for iPhones, and iPhones have like better, they don't have like objectively better screens all the time in every scenario, but they have like an overall package. They are I know this discussion could be like really heated. They are just better phones altogether, right? This might happen to AI companies, and maybe based on this, maybe the companies who make the models might not be the winners, but the companies that put together whatever model to create a product, they will be the winners. And we see this already. We see that these companies are, starting to work with one, but then switch to another company based on like the quality, and which changes, like it feels like every week.
Yeah. I mean, like we spoke about NVIDIA last week, gold shovels, sense of gold, or whatever, At the end of the day, it makes you wonder about open source just in general. Like, people don't want to, if there are better tools already out there that do a better job than you can ever do, then why not just leverage them? But anyway, that's Meta falling to absolute pieces in a nutshell. So I'm secretly happy about that. So what was your question then? Let's go back to the questions. Is AI replacing us? Jobs.
So the way I see it, I don't want to, so the way I see it, if I have a job, I don't want to ask AI to do it for me directly. For small things, sure. But for bigger things, like anything that is client related, if I can find somebody who knows how to leverage AI better than I do, and they can do it for cheaper than it takes me, time to do, then I would just ask them to do it. For example, like the simplest example, editing images. If AI is best at anything, it is image generation right now. Like it's very good, like from all the models actually, from Nano Banana to anything else. And I see there are people who are really specialized in that. People who just prompt, they know how to prompt to create the most aesthetically beautiful images. And I could get there, right? I know that I could try and I could like prompt 100 times. But my point is, instead of doing all of that, I just ask the human to leverage the AI to get me the work that I want, and I pay the human. That's my point. That the AI is definitely, yes, taking away some jobs, but it's creating some new jobs for people who are, I would say, like in this case, have an eye for aesthetics and design and understand it in a deep and fundamental level so that they can deliver. And it doesn't matter to me how they deliver. All it matters is what they deliver, with what quality they deliver, how fast they deliver it, and how much it costs me. If it costs me less to do it myself with AI, I will do it myself with AI. But I bet in most cases, and this is not theory, this is actually what I do. Like I had 50 images to edit. I've edited hundreds, thousands of images, and I've been doing photography, like I used to do it like for over a decade, right? I could do it, but instead of spending one whole day working on that, I paid somebody else to do it, and I didn't care if they use AI or not. All I care is like and I believe they did use Photoshop AI, but I don't care. What matters is the job is done. Instead of taking like my whole day to work on that, I worked on something else, and they got to work on that. So I think AI is just, at least for now, it's another tool that people can learn and leverage.
I care if they're using AI. I definitely care if they're using AI, because if someone's going to, especially if they're charging per hour, if someone's going to take 3 hours to do something they could do in 3 seconds with AI, but they're beholden to the Photoshop whatever, then I'm probably not going to use that person. If I'm interviewing, I always ask, how do you use AI for your work? Because if I'm paying by the hour, I want them to be as efficient as possible to use the latest tools and whatever to enhance their work as possible. So I probably, and like, I expect them to know a lot about where AI helps them. So if someone's going to turn around to me and tell me they're a video editor and they use AI to edit the videos, then I'm going to be like, well, actually, I know the state of AI video editing and it is not great. So tell me more about that. Or, again, if someone's going to say they develop an app with me, if they're a developer and they completely use AI, I'm going to now, because I do it myself, I'm going to try and understand to what extent. Like if they're a vibe coder, then no, thank you. But if they're someone who uses it to do the boring stuff that they don't want to do, or if they set off an AI to do one thing whilst they're coding another thing, then you've bent my ear a little bit. But what exactly is your question here? What are you?
The question was like, if people should be worried about AI taking their job or like being replaced by AI. It's not that they are being replaced by AI because AI does the job better. It's because they stay in the old world. And
Mhm.
to clarify, I 100% agree with what you said, where I said I don't care if they use AI, is like, I do care. I want them to use AI as long as the quality is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yes.
if,
Yeah. And
which AI they use, how arrive at it. I give them a timeline, I give them the task, and they better use AI.
And every job requires a different level of, let's call it professionalism. And I don't mean that in
Yes.
presentation. I mean that like how difficult the task is, or how complex the task is. Different complexity is probably a better way to explain it. And we spoke about this before the call. When we say like AI is taking jobs, we're not saying that an industry has been taken away. Like when we say, like, it's funny because I'm a developer and I could not imagine an industry more excited about AI than developers. But the same rules apply to developers. It's taking our code, learn off of free whatever. Don't get me wrong, there are going to be tons of developers in the comments and whatever who don't like this, and that's totally fine. As with everything, you're entitled to your opinion, but there are far more supportive developers for AI as they're, is in the creative field. Trust me, I've just, put a post out on LinkedIn that got a lot of hate, or a lot of people upset a lot of people. I talk about this in my video that I released last night. It's all about the pool of developers, designers, whatever it is that you do. It's now no longer, because someone can do so much with AI. You can hire you don't need to hire a team of developers to work on a product anymore. You can just hire one developer who knows how to leverage AI. You don't need to hire a team of designers. You just need to hire a designer that has, can utilize AI to do their job faster, do their job better. If they're not doing their job better, then they're not worth hiring. This just means instead of hiring a few people, I can just hire one person, and this is going to be for everyone. If I'm hiring at all, because I'm a boss, I will not hire someone because I'll choose to use AI. I've done that several times. I'm like, well, I can just use AI to do this. So why would I hire? I don't need to hire someone to make this icon or make this logo or, do this development work. I don't need to hire a developer to do this. People have lost work from me where I would have hired for it. People have lost work from people I know because they've just thought, this is simple enough for ChatGPT to sort out for me. So you've already lost jobs. And that's what we mean by losing jobs. It doesn't mean that you're never going to get hired. It doesn't mean an industry has been removed. It just means there is less need for so many. There are less jobs that require a specialist person because AI can do it like that. I set myself up in a banana costume.
Yeah.
I don't need to hire a designer to do that for me now. I don't need to spend half an hour, 15 minutes in Photoshop to do that. I can just say, boom, 3 seconds, done. I'm now wearing a banana costume.
Yeah, but this is like the low scale. I think this would not apply to bigger scale and for more complex things. So in my case,
disagree.
In my case, like okay, so let's say it like this. I stopped giving my developer simple tasks because now AI does it. What I do, he's not like, he didn't lose his job. He's just getting more complex tasks. That's how I see it. Like, it's the level of complexity that is shifting. And yes, people are being left out and left behind. People who refuse to go up in the ladder of complexity and abstraction. People who just stay in, their old, as you said, like the example with the Photoshop version. If they are not using AI to do the things, they will be left out. But for bigger scale, like more complex things, AI is simply not there to do like the complex development work.
But it's been pushed to do low-level tasks of that complex thing. So rather than it consuming the whole entire task, which is what we've just been talking about, which is putting me in a banana costume, it's now been offset to writing a function in a developer's workflow. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, what are we actually trying to say here? Personally, I think that it's misconstrued that when we say someone has lost their job or jobs are going away, one, they've already gone. Two, we don't say an industry's gone. And three, I think we'll be surprised at how happy people, I think you said it earlier, didn't you? How happy people will be with basic. Was it you who sent a tweet about this? The majority, there'll be a lot of people who are happy with mediocre. Oh, I know who it was. It was the founder of Web Studio, Oleg.
No, I haven't seen. What does he say?
He just simply said that people, more people than you imagine or whatever, will be happy with mediocre results. Because at the end of the day, it's a race to get things out there. And, things don't need to be perfect. You need to realize that. And that's what I've realized as a business owner. Things do not need to be perfect.
Yes, but yes and no. Like mediocre results, like just average is what, like if you look at all websites on the internet, the average quality, like if you average them, the average design is pretty bad. Like the average design would be what you would call below average, right? And yes, so by that it means like most people would be happy with an average design, right? But again, if you want to stand out, you have to deliver above average, and that average I want to bring it all to this point that I believe this average is constantly moving up. Like the average is getting better constantly. Like look at the quality of website, like the designs has gotten much, much better compared to like 20 years ago, right? So yes, with AI, people are getting a lot more people are getting average, and a lot of them are happy with it. But there will be always the need for higher output, higher quality, better output, more output.
Here's the thing, though. We've got to get off this topic. Here's the thing, and this is the difference between, because I used to have a full-time job, 9 to 5. I used to work for someone and, work for the manager. Now I have my own company. I work for myself. And I've seen both those transitions. I'm very interested. I'm not amazing at it, don't get me wrong, but I've seen the difference between being a worker and being a boss of a company, trying to, make a company work. When you're a worker, you're determined that you're going to do the absolute best. Like you feel like everything needs to be premium and amazing. And it does in time. What I've learned as a company owner is that good enough will do. Like, okay, sure, if you want to take a lot of time to do this, that's fine, but we don't need that, right? You need to balance. It's how much weight you're willing to put into this task. If you need to recognize the commercial ability of this particular task, and if it's something where, let's say security and like a migration of a database, something that rests heavily on needing to be really friggin' meticulous about the work that you do, that's where you put your energy. But if you can, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm terrible with words. If you can recognize when the effort needed is a little bit, take your foot off the gas a little bit, because good is good enough. You'd be surprised at how much you can actually get away with. And from launching a product and succeeding as a business, you don't need to go 100% on every single thing that you do. Just recognizing where to put your foot on and off the gas is really crucial. And that's kind of what I've learned as a business. It's like you can get away with not being 100% all of the time.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah, we should move on. We have a few more articles to go through.
We do. We're trying a new format. If you're new here, this is probably a just complete mess to you. But so Anthropic plot twist: the AI that promised privacy now wants your diary. So have you seen the latest updates to Anthropic? I guess all of their products. They now want to keep your chat data, chat history, your code history in Claude Code as well. Don't think you just because you're a developer, you escape this craziness. They want to keep your data for 5 years. They want to keep and train off your data too. So it's not just like holding on to it, for, I don't know, what you couldn't call it, like HR or whatever, is literally they're training off your data. And this is a stark contrast kind of to a company that in recent months has been releasing so many articles about, just privacy in general and making sure that AI is built for good and this and that. In fact, let me share my thing because I've adjusted my screen now to make sure it might fit better. I'm looking at the screen.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah. And you've basically got until the 28th of September. You should be presented with some sort of screen to accept this. Now, I have, because you've seen what Siri can't do because of all the privacy stuff. I want a better product from Claude. I'm happy them seeing what I'm coding. Again, this is maybe a developer's perspective with all this, but they're literally, they're going to be keeping your data for up to 5 years. So if you say yes to it now, that means they'll have your data, all of your data, until the year 2030, which is just crazy.
Yeah. Funny to see your developer mindset as well. It's like, just take all my life, take my data, my code. I mean, they already have it.
I want a better product. I see the light. I want a better product, and I don't mind sharing my data to give better product. StreamYard, we use StreamYard to do all this, that, and the other. Every single time we do a show, I click generate AI. We never use them, but I want that to get better, because if we can AI generate a bunch of shorts for you guys and pump them out, then that's just better for everyone. So I just click it because I don't know whether they're training on it or not, but I just want that to get better and better and better. So what's your perspective? I mean, are you saying yes? Do you use Claude, don't you?
Very little, but I would say yes.
In Cursor?
Yes, I do.
I wonder how this does it through Cursor then. Do you think Cursor you need to accept through Cursor?
I didn't notice anything new through Cursor. I've been using Cursor, and especially like the Claude models, but I would say yes to it. I mean, if they have my data for 30 days or 5 years, I don't think it's going to make a difference. They have my data anyway, and even if they don't store the 30-day version, for longer, they could train, on it and store it in a different version, right? So I don't care about this too much. It would be nice to not, give away your data, but I guess this is the world we are living in, and I don't feel like fighting against it, to be honest.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if we're getting better products from it, I mean, Google have always done this. They give away their products for free. Yeah. In return, we get good products. If it's not a good product, then whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm with you guys here when it comes to privacy. I really don't want this to bite me in the ass. I really, really don't. I want to have faith in humanity. But Anthropic do give weird vibes, as Theo's video created about the weird vibe thing. They've actually invited him to go speak to him to kind of correct all this. But this might be I haven't gone through this. This might be quite interesting to kind of go through. Why are you making this change? All large language models like Claude are trained using large amounts of data from real world interactions. Now, here's the thing. I actually don't think coding, we've got all the data out there. If you ask an AI to build you an app, it's going to build it in React, and it's going to build it using Tailwind and ShadCM. It's not going to keep up with some of the latest trends, right? I think this will make sure they're ahead of the game, because they're actually able to learn of what people are actually building or asking the AI to build. Granted, probably most people will just be happy with the React, Express, full stack application. But there will be developers who want to force in Svelte, or who want to use their own systems using Anthropic. Now, I wonder if there's anything to do with tool use, because obviously when I use a tool, I just installed it the other day, but it's similar to Context 7 in that it gets documentation, up-to-date documentation to help write code. Because, of course, if I ask it to use a library that was released last week, then it's not going to know anything about that, because I don't know when the cutoff date is with Claude. I think it's September last year. Does the result from the tool come into play? So let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Design combination of tools. So I've just searched tool and it doesn't show up anywhere. But anyway, let's continue with this. When developer debugs code collaborating with AI model, interaction offers valuable signals. So basically, yeah, I mean, as you'd expect. And why are you extending? AI development cycle span years, 18 to 20 models released today. Development basically 18 to 24 months ago. They're up until, so you won't get anything younger than 18 months ago or older.
Yeah.
Keeping the data consistent through the training process helps make the models more consistent. To models trained on similar data will respond, reason, and produce outputs in similar ways. I mean, yeah, there's nothing really here that's. This is why I would have, updated this, to be honest. But there is a bit of backlash. People are a bit worried about it, particularly when it comes to data security. Again, we reported last week that Grok was announcing that a bunch of things were being published publicly. Yeah. Now, whether, again, I don't know, I speculated whether that was actually a developer mess up or whether there was a communication issue and actually they've done nothing wrong, but it was just not communicated that would be indexable. So don't just share your bomb making history, whatever the people were sharing. Otter AI as well, a company that messed up on, they actually got done a whoopsie and that they were actually storing people's data. Like there's just this worry that are they capable of actually storing data and without any compromisation, without any breaches or anything like that. So there is a worry there.
How is it with OpenAI and other companies? Like, how long are they storing our data?
I think they're 30 days. I do think 30 days. Let me. How long? Go on.
But even if it's 1 day, can't they theoretically just feed it to whatever? I don't know. Like, can't they generalize?
I don't know the process. Like I know what you mean. So once that data's in, they take it and then they're out. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. 30 days. Delete data after 30 days.
Okay.
So
maybe now they will follow. If Claude can get away with it.
You're right. Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is like, he's very happy because Claude is getting away with it and he will be asking for more now.
Yeah. I mean, society is like this. You nudge them a little bit, you take a little bit, you nudge them a little bit more, you take a little bit more, But at the end of the day, again, everyone's going to be different here. I don't really use Claude for any personal stuff. What are people really offended or upset or worried about? What information they're genuinely worried about taking would be quite interesting. Let us know in the comments. What are you worried about AI?
Yeah.
What do you think AI is going to do with your data? What are you worried about? I'd love to know. We would love.
Or like, what is the private type of thing that you are talking to AI about that you don't want to be published?
Yeah.
What are the questionable things that you are asking?
I would love a producer, by the way. If you're a budding producer and would love to work with us, get in contact because they can collect all this stuff and then we can just sit back and react to it at the end of the week.
So I want to talk about another news that we almost forgot.
Well, one more thing just on this, just quickly.
Yeah.
They're actually announced a AI safety research off the back of all this as well. So they're actually being cognizant that people are using it to be, to be their a therapist or to give them advice or whatever. So they're launching a new kind of, I guess, thing. They're launching AI safety research to research the encompassing the societal impact of AI models, which made me think about a recent thing where a guy killed his mother, or the ChatGPT convinced him, who he named David or something like this, convinced him that his mother was like a Russian spy and he killed his mother. Now, you're never going to help people who are on the edge and are a bit, twisted, but AI has this ability to agree with you, and this is what it was doing. It was like saying, it does sound a bit fishy that your mother cut that conversation short, or she didn't want to say this, that, and the other.
This
It
is
does
insane.
seem those patterns do align with people who are hiding something from you. So, but OpenAI are trying to make to recognize these patterns and to train their models to actually seek support and be less supportive of your ideas, because it just wants to make you happy. It's so agreeable. It says, you know, whatever. So in all of this, Claude have announced that they are going to be taking that more seriously too. So yeah, pros and cons from Claude there. Or Anthropic.
All right. Have you heard the other Claude Anthropic news?
No, let's bundle it in. Get it in there.
Yeah. So it seems like that AI companies are in a race to see who can burn more billions.
Okay.
Claude just raised $13 billion at a Series F raising for a total of 183 billion dollars, like post money valuation. And it's just insane. 13 billions for 7%, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more of a shout on the percentage, because I think OpenAI equity stake, I think they raised like 130 billion or something like that, or something crazy. So they're by far and away not the largest raiser of capital, but the amount 7% is crazy. Like, to only give away 7%, it's crazy.
And they are all losing money.
I know. Yeah. Thing is, they're so far behind. They're training like future models, and it sort of basically compounds.
Yes. And there is this hope that they will catch up, that there will be, like, what is the hope? What is I don't know. It seems like they are all burning a bunch of money, and Nvidia is, as we talked about it, is definitely the winner. Who gets this 13 billion? Like, most of it probably will just go
Nvidia.
It's like Anthropic raises money. Nvidia is like, nice.
Yeah. I mean, fair play to them. It's a lot of money, so it's a little bit amount of stake, and I'm here for it. Give my data, just write my code. I've been on fire the last few days writing code with Claude Code, so we can get into that a bit later on. But
yeah.
Well done, Claude or Anthropic. Switzerland? Should we talk about ARC?
Well, yeah, we can go either of them.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the Switzerland one is the.
I think the Swiss one is short. You can tell me about it, because I don't know much. So what's up with Switzerland and open source models?
What's up with Switzerland? What's up? So Switzerland have just dropped Apertus. Switzerland just dropped Apertus, the AI model that actually respects your privacy. Now, I'm stoked about this. I love this. It's an open source model that really is just, I mean, if you don't know anything about Switzerland, they've got all the banks that all the multi-billionaires store all their money in. So they know how to deal with, you know, privacy. They're pretty true to their word here. So I believe them when they say it. It's an open source, multilingual, large language model. And it's basically going to challenge some of the biggest names in China and American open source models, and it's privacy focused. And what I love about it is that it's trained across, what is it here, 1,000 languages. Now, we spoke a few weeks ago about what languages to train on and this and that and whatever, so that's quite cool. 40% of the train data is non-English, including underrepresented languages such as Swiss, German, and Romanish. Of course it is, because it's all pretty much the same.
That's language. Insane. 40%. Yeah.
So it's going to be released 8 billion and 70 billion parameters. So it seems reasonable. I mean, like, I wonder if the 8 billion one is something that could probably run on something really, lightweight, quite a fast model. And I love that it's European. I mean, Switzerland and Europe, Schengen. I don't know. I think it's in this funny spot where it's like it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Like they respect and allow Schengen activity, but they're not actually part of Schengen, I think, or something like that.
They do their own thing.
They do their own thing. I got told that by a guy on a boat as I was crossing the river in Basel. He was explaining to me the how Switzerland partake in the EU. So that was my
interesting. Well, about this open source thing, like not open source thing, actually, more privacy thing. Like theoretically, you could run any model on a server and just keep the data to yourself, or have a company like you. Tomorrow, you could raise $1 billion and just rent some warehouse and theoretically run any open source model there and respect your users' privacy. So it's essentially the choice of the provider. It's not about the open source model. It's who's running the, is it called like the inference model? Who's running the,
I don't know.
Who's running the AI model? It's up to them to respect your privacy or not.
I guess so. This is a whole world. Or when I hear open source, I just think, well, it's not I run the model. It's not being sent off anywhere, and whatever. How I'd read that? Am I? If I was going to be, if I was going to use your data and I was going to wrap a product in this open source tool, what am I doing? Am I intercepting your questions and the answers and then just taking that and storing it somewhere in some sort of logs? I honestly don't know. I guess open source as well. I mean, again, open source and open weights are different. I don't think this is open weight, so I don't think you can actually look at the. I don't know. Open weight, open source is kind of a difficult subject to describe, but I guess open source is that I can see how it's been trained or something. I don't know. Let's just not get into this because I don't know enough about it. But like I could wrap this and call it I could call it something else, but secretly under the hood be using this model and no one can do anything about it. That saying that, you need to look at licensing. Maybe you have to say we're using Apertus or Apertus. I don't know how you say it, but not sure in a nutshell.
Yeah,
but they are making their entire development process publicly accessible. So they're properly going all in on like, look, we're open about what we do. You can trust us. And Apertus is Latin for open, I think I read.
Okay, that's
there. You go. You learned Latin today. That's what you come here for. You learn Latin. But anyway, we said it was going to be short. Unless you've got anything to add, should we move on?
We will go to our next news that is not AI.
Yeah.
So
take this one away.
All right. So one of my favorite pieces of software ever just died again for the second time. Arc browser, made by browser company, just got acquired by Anthropic, not Anthropic. They just got acquired by Atlassian, the company that makes Jira, one of the most annoying pieces of software ever existed, and a bunch of other pieces of software that they own. So Atlassian, they own Trello. They didn't make Trello, I believe. They acquired Trello. They own Loom, don't they? They also own Loom, like the software that we use to, like, I use Loom every day to communicate with teammates, with clients, like a bunch of things. They just go around and they acquire these companies. And how do they have so much money? Like, because I don't know why did they got so much adoption from these huge companies. Anyway, people use them for their project management tools, and now they acquired the browser company, a company that made Arc and now Dia, and they haven't been making any money, Dia and Arc. It seems like the browser company really lacks the understanding of how to make a tool that makes money, and now they are acquired by Atlassian to be ruined.
Atlassian do have a history of ruining software. Trello was so good. It was so clean, so simple, fast. And then as soon as they acquired it, it just crashed and burned. Same with Bitbucket. I don't think they made Bitbucket. I think Bitbucket was like a simple Git solution. They bought it. It's just they've got a massive history of just buying products and just making a mess of them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think they actually made Jira, and
yeah,
that's all you need to know about what their ability is like to make.
So about Jira, I had a short time working at Adidas. We had Jira for everything. So imagine projects like multi-million-dollar projects planned in Jira, so that you theoretically could know like 2 years. In 2 years, there are like 10 people working on these tasks for the next 2 weeks. Like you could plan out your next years for the project. Obviously, it all gets adjusted as you move forward, but that is what we were using for, and we were documenting everything on Confluence, I believe it's called. It's like tightly integrated with Jira. And what's crazy, we had like project managers in my team, right? But we had a Jira guy in another team, and I would go to him to get help with something.
We had that, yeah.
It was so freaking like complex that there were like plugins and integrations to like let the developers to like log in their time in a specific way, and it was just so freaking complex, this piece of just project management tool. Like it's a project management tool, and it was so complex that there was this guy, I believe, had like one of the safest jobs on earth. Like nobody could fire him. Like the entire organization depended on his knowledge of understanding the internal tools and like how Jira worked. So that was really interesting to see how bad Jira was. I used it. I didn't like it. I kind of like hated it. Confluence was fine, actually. I liked using Confluence. Confluence was like Notion. Yeah, I probably with more things. Jira, in theory, it was amazing because you could have you had this project, and the project managers could create reports based on what developers have added. So imagine like the rate of new errors added to the software and the rate of error solved, like not just the number of them, the amount, but the rate, like over time. So there was just so much that you could add to it. But yeah, people really hate Jira because how complex and slow it is, and other tools by Atlassian and Arc.
People dislike Atlassian. Did you I mean, did you mention how much they're buying them for?
Oh no, I didn't. So it's $610 million. It's less than I would guess, though. I don't know why.
I don't know.
We are getting used to billions for these, just 13 billions, just like casually thrown.
Did you see the? By the way, there's some. I've forgotten what language you speak. What's the language you speak? Farsi.
I do speak Farsi, yeah, as well.
There's a Farsi comment on Instagram. I don't know what it says.
Oh, it says salam. Hi.
Oh, hello. Hi. So, alaikum salam.
Yeah. Well, that word salam alaikum would be Arabic.
That's the one. Yeah.
Salam is like, I could geek out about language, man. Like,
but did you see the videos that were released for this and the whole release of it?
I've seen the videos through like other creators, but yes, I've seen them.
It's the second the email came out, right? Actually, maybe I've still got it here somewhere. I'm talking the second because I was looking at my emails when it came through. I clicked on this thing because I was like, "What the is this?" And I watched it, and here we go. New chapter, thanks to you, an exciting new chapter. Josh here, big news. We're excited to share. And I didn't even read the email. I just kind of clicked on it, right? And I was really confused because this email, this video that they've released, this marketing email, doesn't really say an awful lot. It kind of goes through their history of like what they're aiming to build and this. And I was like, what is this video that I've just watched? And I had to read the YouTube title to see what the hell they were even talking about. Furthermore, Josh released a tweet that really didn't explain much either. Like, he didn't even mention Atlassian in his tweet.
Yeah, it
And it's
seems like
what
he
is
doesn't.
this?
Yeah.
But I did watch the Atlassian release of the video. It was slightly more clear. And I've got to say, you know, the vision and the execution are different topics here. So bear with me, guys. But it does make sense. It does make sense that Jira have a browser that just works with all of their tools and things like that, that it is in of itself a product of Atlassian. Be really interesting to we'll get some love. I don't know from who. Some more Farsi. Yeah, we are. I don't know. I'm optimistic that the vision is there, but whether they can execute is another matter. But the videos were odd.
Yeah. Theo said, he mentioned in his video, if Josh is slightly embarrassed by Atlassian, I mean, you wouldn't.
Josh is the owner of browser company, by the way. What do you mean he's embarrassed?
He didn't mention it in his video. He didn't mention it in his tweet. He sold the company to it.
Got you.
Yeah. He might not be very proud of selling his, baby, and yeah, he's been trying to go around the masses and not, stay with developers and power users and go for other people. But like the masses, it's really hard to imagine people, the masses, again, not the power users, paying any money for a browser. People just use Safari. Like, yes, power users would absolutely pay. Like, I would pay, like legit, I would pay for Arc, but I would not, and I will not pay for Dia. I like Dia, but it's not there. It's not where Arc was. With Arc, I could I'm actually planning on moving back, by the way.
To what?
To Arc.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why Arc isn't being used right now, but I've moved back to Arc for these streams to present the full screen.
Yeah,
thing.
I had like battery issues, but maybe it's just my laptop degrading. I can't I can't use Dia for what I'm doing. I need the folders. I need the structures that I have there. Have you mentioned that you saw the video from Atlassian? They showed this example with 20 different
20 different windows with 20 different tabs.
That was legit me. I was that person. I was that person before Arc. And in Arc, I don't have multiple spaces. I have two, but I use primarily one of them, one space, but across multiple instances. So it's the same account in multiple spaces, I guess. And I use it for like organizing my tabs. And that's what I need. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I will continue using it until Atlassian ruin it.
I'm loving Comet. I'm not using the AI as much as I thought I would. I think it will come and go because I'm just deep in code right now. I'm not doing a lot of admin, not productivity, but I would like to. I wonder what would happen if I disappear into admin mode. But yeah, I do. My tabs have grown quite significantly. Again, I think I'm just going into my developer shell where I'm just like getting really lazy and smelly. I haven't changed my underwear in 3 days. So like, but yeah. That was unnecessary.
Yeah. Your examples are so wild.
But yeah, Comet's my browser. I mean, we're not here to talk about
I haven't tried it yet.
You should. I was misinformed actually. I thought it got released. The email was phrased as if it's been released, but it's just only to Max. And tell us about being charged for Arc. For Dia. Is that one of the reasons why you moved back as well? What's this payment?
No, so Dia did ask for money. There is a paid version, but I don't think anybody is paying for this, or anybody should pay for this. I don't think that. And
the AI is just not even that good. Like,
it's not where I need it to be. And the idea of chatting with multiple tabs, amazing. I found out that I don't use it all that much.
No, that's yeah.
If I need another tab, the context from another tab, I can copy paste it if I have to. What I need is like multiple, a good folder management. I use my browser the way I want to use my file system, like my what's it called? Like what's it called? Like in Mac, like organizing your, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is there a tool? I'm pretty sure there is, like an extension that works. Like, I know that Claude made this, but any other that is open source, or not open source, like open to use, that does what Dia does with one tab, like just chat with a tab. I would just give that a try in Arc.
Claude, again, but this is AI, right? So this stuff you need to pay for. Like, this is why it makes sense that you would pay for Dia, right? Because it's using AI. Claude have released a Chrome extension.
Yeah, that's what I want, something like that.
Yeah, but hopefully, with this Gemini Nano in the browser, this is perfect use case for it. Google might just release a really simple, or you could vibe code yourself an extension that leverages the Gemini Nano API that you can just chat with a window.
Yeah, that's all I want. And where I use it is for my chats, not all of, like, email, WhatsApp. That's the two that I currently have. When I have, when I work with clients, I want to just, text them in whatever language I want, and then Dia takes care of it. But I'm going to keep Dia. So that's my plan. I'm going to keep Dia, but as my secondary browser, just for my chats. I'm moving back to, like, I never left Arc. So I'm moving back by just logging in, like, Webflow and a bunch of other tools in Arc, and just continue using it. And I actually noticed that I missed it. I missed the vertical tabs. I missed the management, man. It's so good. Like, I have the idea. The most important thing that I think Arc is doing for me are, like, two things: spaces that I can, so that I can have instances of like different parts of my brain in different spaces, and in each space, the idea of mixing a tab with a bookmark into one entity, one thing. I think that was genius, that idea. And is there any tool that does this?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
That is Chromium.
I think with most, we're getting way off track now, but I think with most tools, I think I think it's worth just sitting down and just going through everything that tool, like just nerding out on the preferences panel, for instance, stuff like that. Because I reckon, like, I'm not using Comet half as much as, again, I'm not in that mindset, but I bet there's loads of little features here and there that I'm not using. But I've been doing that with Claude Code, basically, just nerding out on all of the different things. It's like, right, I've heard about sub-agents. Let's just use them. Let's just set some up and start thinking about it. And oftentimes I make shorts all the time on Claude Code, because I'm like, right, let's learn a feature and then I'll think of a use case for it. Because again, going back to what we spoke about earlier about like interviewing your users before like building something, it's like at the same, like, I learn the tool, I learn what it's about, and then that's where my creativity starts to go wild then, and thinking like, how can I fit this into my workflow? But going back to Arc and the browser company and stuff like that, and similarly with the whole user thing, the whole user base is so confusing with the browser company and Arc. Like, he wanted to build a browser that his nan could use. Yet now he sold it to the most productivity enterprise company. That means then no one's ever going to use Atlassian browser. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, they're going to keep it they're going to keep it Arc, and they're going to keep it like just like they did with Trello. Trello was always, but they're going to make such a pig's ear of it that it's going to be even less like your nan's going to bloody use it. So it's so odd. Congratulations, Josh. You've got your payday. Like, this is what you've always wanted. You know, this is I just don't understand. Nothing makes sense about this whole acquisition. No, wow. What Atlassian want to do makes sense, but like, browser company, he's not a great CEO.
Does Atlassian have any open source that you know of?
Sorry, could Atlassian open source?
Yeah, do they open source anything?
I don't think so. No way.
Yeah, they don't sound like
just,
a company.
This is software. Yeah, they're not building the there'll be an analogy somewhere, but they're not building the bricks to help you build stuff. They're providing you the software. So yeah.
So the idea of Arc becoming open source will die. Let's close this topic by hope for AI getting so good that I can just create a clone of Arc one day.
I mean, mate, this is where we're going. This is where vibe coding's going. This is where these what do Anthropic call them? Archives? No, I don't know. Yeah, build your own browser, mate. So build what you need. Let's go to Webflow Way. Let's chat about Webflow Way. Do you want to take this one?
Yes, I want to also share.
Let's see how. I'll show it. Look.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, when you share like this, let's see how the stream will be recorded, because you know we can't use this for YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We might have shot ourselves in the foot with this vertical streaming nonsense, but we'll see how it goes.
It's the first time, so yeah. All right, so let me go to my notes. So the question is, how do you create a website and set it up for success? You need a design system. You need to make sure that things are built the right way, so you can scale it, so you can, you know, change content, add content, and all of that. You need to add languages. You have SEO to take care of, and you also have. Why did you go?
I'm here.
Yeah, I got this right. Anyway, so and you also have, in today's age, you have AI. You want your website to, you know, be AI readable and all of that. There is a lot of things that you want to take care of in order to make or have a very scalable and successful website that, you know, helps your business grow. And Webflow just published this thing that they call the Webflow Way. It is essentially a documentation on how Webflow think we should build websites. It's really like well thought out, like written documents by industry leaders on design systems, on CMS localization, SEO collaboration, and how to analyze and optimize your website. So if you go to the first one, for example, if you go to design systems, there you see there are like 7 articles, and each article includes a bunch of things. So the number 7 is accessibility, something that really matters. And you can read the article, like click on read the article.
Oh, hover. That's not very accessible.
Yeah. They should have made the entire thing clickable. Anyway, so there are a bunch of articles on this and what matters, where does it matter, and why, and ways to do it right. So it's essentially a huge checklist on doing things right. I wish there was kind of like a 1-page huge like document shape of like a checklist type of thing for everything that they have there. Maybe I create that because I already have a very thorough and like huge, I have a huge checklist, man. But yeah, this is very interesting. I went through some of it. It's not something that you can read in one setting. It's very deep.
Look at this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has a lot of links. Like if you look at these links at the end of this page, to the, what's it called? That website for the, if you scroll a little bit up, a little bit more. Yeah. These recommended reading, VCAG. Yeah.
not optimized for
Yeah.
mobile.
Yeah, WCAG is not. It's funny, but yeah, that's the Webflow way, and this goes on for like CMS and other things. And I'm just genuinely excited, like looking at it, pointing my team at this, like tell them to develop based on these rules. For myself, whenever I have a question, okay, how should I use like variables? I can come here and see how Webflow suggests me using variables. And like the end result, if you put all of these into practice, you should have a really like scalable, beautiful, well-designed website. That's the point. I think the goal here is to help developers and designers to build better websites, to also probably sell to clients. And I could imagine showing this page to my leads, like my future clients, and tell them, hey, this is what you get, especially like the design system one, that, hey, you get not just a website, you get a whole design system that is a marketing asset for you.
A couple of things jump out to me is I wonder if this was ever going to be a book. This feels like quite natural that it would be quite a book. And I wish I could show you it, but I'm one of the only Europeans to have the Webflow Scaling Your Webflow Agency book. And it says volume 1 on it. And that was
by Edgar Allan, right?
Well, yeah. And I don't know what the agreement was between Webflow and Edgar Allan, whether Edgar Allan proposed this idea or whatever, but it was volume 1. Seems like this would have been a perfect fit for volume 2, the Webflow way. Secondly,
it needs links. It needs interactivity.
Sure, but again, I'm sure there's a lot you can get away. And I think there's a lot. Not that it shouldn't be a website, like I say, but it would be cool for this to be a book. Similarly, one thing you've expressed a few times is about how Webflow kind of dropped the ball. When it comes to kind of their university whole system, their kind of social
marketing. Yeah.
I wonder why they've gone to a reading format over maybe producing some videos on it. This is not to criticize. It would be cool to see some videos kind of coming in and supporting some of this stuff and talking about this stuff in the classic Webflow way, because they're so good at writing and producing videos, unless that team is kind of disbanded now. I don't know. And then the only other thing is like, where's the authority coming from on this stuff? Do you know?
Yeah, the authority comes from industry leaders. So they are using people like Timothy Rick's methods and other people in the industry that are very respectable. And like we generally trust these people to know their way.
Then come to me. Then come to me.
They have Corey, I believe, as well. Corey is like one of my favorite. Like he works at Webflow. I don't know if he directly worked in this project or not.
He created Mast, right?
Yes, he created Mast, and I just generally trust the way he does things, because I think he is this like perfect middle ground between like engineer, designer. He has the taste, he has the technical ability. I think he's a great communicator. Like in general, I think he is really great. When it comes to somebody like Timothy, he tends to push the boundaries, but that comes with a cost. It's really it is difficult, I've heard like from many people, to follow his ways, because he's pushing the platforms. He's literally pushing the ways that you can build, but that comes with a level of complexity, especially in the learning curve and whatever that he does. But at the end, he achieves like the best performance or the best scalability or like the best flexibility when it comes to layouts and changing them, and like the way he uses variables and variable sets. Anyway, so these are the people who have built this, and I'm excited about just like diving deeper into it.
Very cool. I'm excited, and I don't even use Webflow.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I've moved on. I've graduated from that. They went down again, I think, recently or something. There was that. I'm actually in massive. I'm trying to build a Webflow cloud course, trying to bridge that where my interests lie and where my strengths are when it comes to Webflow. And I'm working with their team at the moment because the documentation it just doesn't work. I've recorded a tutorial on how to use storage, and it's working fine on my local machine. Everything's good. Push it up to Webflow, and it just doesn't work. So I'm actually talking with them at the moment, trying to fix their documentation and whatever.
I had an issue like that as well. And my developer, when I showed it to him with Webflow Cloud, when I showed it to him, he said, this is very likely AI generated documentation because it was a hallucination. It looked like a hallucination. And my developer got it working by not following the documentations, but his guts basically thinking, oh, a Webflow developers at Webflow have thought about the APIs this way, so let's do it this way, and it worked.
Yeah, you'll see, because I produced like 3 or 4 videos on Webflow Cloud to date, and actually during that video, I literally say the documentation tells you to do this, but actually you need to do this. It doesn't work when you do that. And also they have 2 sections on storage, and by that I mean there's one that says get started, and it has the 3 different types of storage you can use, and then another one's like maybe a deeper dive or something, but the setup on the 2 tutorials is just different. Anyway, we're not here to shit on Webflow, I'm just having issues with the Webflow Cloud thing at the moment, and it's preventing me from producing more episodes for my course.
And about them going down, they did actually go down again. I tweeted about this. I just said Webflow outage again. This is getting annoying. It was down for a few hours, and I was actually trying to get some stuff done, and I couldn't. And that was really annoying. And that tweet got like 7,000 views, which is a bit much for a small community, and somebody just being annoyed about that program down.
People love to hate at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like I didn't think it will get like this many people notice, and again, like people got really annoyed by it. But this is definitely damaging the web, like people's trust in Webflow.
Yeah, there's definitely a different vibe at the moment, less enthusiastic. I don't know whether just because I've stepped back from it, but I feel
there is no social like interest for like, especially in Twitter, because they dropped the ball with marketing.
Really, maybe they really have.
Yeah, maybe they are going with something like Atlassian. Like nobody talks, with excitement about Atlassian. But companies are paying them millions and millions, and they are apparently super profitable, super successful. So maybe Webflow is trying to become that type of company.
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate.
Believing you pay more, you get more, and all that kind of mentality. I wouldn't be surprised if they start leaving some of their core audience behind, if that was the case.
They have already.
Yeah.
They have already.
But it still doesn't mean you shouldn't use it and you shouldn't enjoy it. It's just don't expect the same level of treatment.
Definitely. It's still like the best tool to get the job done. All I'm annoyed with is their marketing. I think their marketing team has shrunk. That's the issue. Like they don't have many people working in the marketing.
Yeah, I think I saw them advertising some lead or something like that. But but what are you going to do, eh? This is business. This is how we go for ups and downs. No one's perfect, and it's frigging hard. It's easy to dump on people. When
maybe I will take care of their marketing.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this is slightly different, and it goes back to my post on LinkedIn. It's crazy how much people just and we probably all do this. You, me, the viewers, everyone. We probably all do this. I don't think we realize how presumptuous we come across with our messages and comments and things like that. Like we know, oh, they should do this, and you see it all the time. And I watched a true crime video yesterday, and someone was at the end of the video was like, what do you think happened to the daughter that got brutally murdered or whatever? It's like, you're asking them, like, they don't know anything, but people will comment and talk like they do. The reason why I say is there is someone in the comments of my LinkedIn post. I posted a photo of me in a banana suit, and I used Nano Banana to do this. They are adamant that I took a photo of myself in a banana costume because they've overlaid the two and there are slight differences in the image. I don't really understand his point, because on the one hand, you're saying, because my point was Photoshop's, it's going to kill Photoshop sort of thing. On the one hand, you're saying, no, it will never kill Photoshop. On the other hand, you're completely convinced that I dressed up in a banana suit to take a photo. And AI is that good that you're like, no, you must have taken a photo.
To be honest, the moment you sent me this, for the first moment, I thought it is real.
Yeah,
for real. Like,
and this
I
is
thought
my
it is
point.
real. I was like, I wouldn't. You wouldn't surprise me if you would really like wear a banana costume for whatever, like, I don't know, festival. I mean, it's fine. So for the first moment, I thought this is real, and I was like, so cool, until I noticed, wait, this is AI, but it didn't look AI. It absolutely looks real.
And you wouldn't know, because it wasn't until I posted the original photo, because I posted them side by side on LinkedIn, that people had anything to comment on. And I get what they're saying. Like, if you're doing Photoshop, and this was one of the big selling points in Nano Banana, it doesn't alter the original photo. But there are some instances, my arm is kind of moved down a little bit like this, and my ego is a lot bigger as well in the Photoshop, in the Nano Banana photo. Micro banana. But you generally wouldn't notice. But anyway, my point is that the number of comments saying you don't know what you're talking. No, actually, something more specific. You do not use Photoshop, or you haven't used Photoshop if you're saying this. And one guy, one had the audacity to say, it's obvious you don't know Photoshop, or you don't use Photoshop, and blah 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 blah. I said a bunch of stuff, and they said, I bet you $50 you've never used Photoshop. And I just responded and I said, I used to hack it when I was like 16 years old. I had Master Collection. I used Little Snitch, which is a niche little product that you use to block Adobe, contacting Adobe and this, that. Like, I did design for 6 years in university and college. I was on it every single day, working at Framestore, tagging all of these companies. I said, I used Photoshop. And yet he still is adamant that I did not use Photoshop. And I'm like, mate, I have no idea what you're talking about. I use Photoshop. Like, how can anyone in the comment section know anything about the person producing the content? You really don't. You might think you do, but you don't. You literally get a slither of information, a snapshot in time, a snapshot of context that you have really no right to comment on anyone's doing of this, that, and the other, or why they made a certain decision. That just
comes with it,
it's these two personalities that we spoke about. But anyway, we're going way off piece. So should we wrap up here?
Yeah, we basically talked about everything that we wanted to talk about.
I think we have. Pretty much. Cool. Cheers for tuning in, everyone. Come join us on Instagram. We're trying to grow the Instagram audience, because maybe we won't stream to Kabaz's Instagram next time. Command AI at Command AI Show. Same. I think we're on YouTube at Command AI Show. Come like us on those, because we're trying to wean you off of this stuff and come over there, which you probably won't. Let's be honest. You probably won't, but maybe we'll produce enough exciting content. Yeah, maybe we'll produce enough exciting shorts and content to get you to migrate. Yeah. But we're going to pull the plug one of these days, and you'll be missing out on the hottest AI news. Sometimes we're weeks ahead of some of these other chumps. And some of the only people reporting on some of this stuff. So,
without this, you wouldn't know that, Anthropic got paid like what, $13 billion for
there you go,
not making money.
Yeah. Cool. Cheers for tuning in, everyone. Keep on vibing.
Take care, and peace out.
Yeah.